A self-propelled vessel engaged in dredging operations in or near a commercial channel or shipping fairway in a manner likely to restrict or affect navigation of other vessels. For dredges, the AIS regulations borrow a few words from the bridge-to-bridge radio telephone regulations, but there are significant differences between the two. For one, the bridge-to-bridge regulations address every dredge, whereas the AIS regulations address only self-propelled dredges. This point is very important and will be discussed more later. The second most significant difference between the two regulations regards a category of vessels called floating plants. Floating plants may include such vessels as crane barges, floating cement plants, floating power generation platforms, or pumping and support equipment for dredge operations. Floating plants are mentioned in the bridge-to-bridge radio telephone regulations, but are not mentioned in the AIS regulations. As for an insignificant difference in the wording of the two regulations, the bridge-to-bridge regulations describe an applicable waterway as a channel or fairway, where dredging operations are likely to restrict navigation, whereas the AIS regulations use the phrase commercial channel or shipping fairway, where dredge operations are likely to affect navigation of other vessels. With respect to defining the type of channel, regulations make no distinction between types of channels or fairways, for example, commercial versus private, or shipping versus some other type of fairway. Therefore, in the AIS regulations, we can consider the phrase commercial channel or shipping fairway to be synonymous with the bridge-to-bridge phrase channel or fairway. There is no special meaning for the term commercial channel. With a better understanding of the similarities and differences between the two regulations, let's now look more closely at an important part of the AIS requirements for dredges. Only self-propelled vessels engaged in dredging are required to carry AIS. And in fact, as you'll see later on, non-self-propelled vessels are prohibited from carrying AIS. This Army Corps of Engineers vessel, the Dredge Essayons, is obviously self-propelled and is therefore required to carry AIS. The dredge pictured here is motorized. It has engines, propellers, and a rudder. But sometimes the distinction is not so clear. The highly specialized work of dredges often leads to non-traditional means of self-propulsion. This is a star wheel system. The wheel can either work as a paddle wheel or like a tractor to move the dredge along the waterway. This is a cutter suction dredge. It uses alternating spuds and the cutter head itself to work its way along the channel. This dredge uses a combination of props, spuds, and its scoop for propulsion, and it's even able to climb out of the water on its own. And finally, this is the clamshell dredge Nord. It's called a walking spud barge. Here you see it using a rear spud to effectively walk up the Oakland estuary. While some of these dredges didn't demonstrate an especially graceful system of self-propulsion, all of these dredges were indeed propelling themselves through the waterway. Therefore, all of these dredges are required to carry AIS. Of course, not all dredges are self-propelled, and those which are not self-propelled are not only not required to carry AIS, but they are prohibited from carrying AIS Class A or AIS Class B. The most common example of a non-self-propelled dredge is a derrick barge carrying a clamshell dredge. Essentially, this rig is a specialized derrick or crane mounted on a barge and fitted with a clamshell scoop. This dredge uses a derrick and scoop to pick up the dredge material, then it deposits it into a barge moored alongside. This dredge may use spuds or anchors for positioning, but it has no independent onboard system for locomotion. Instead, it depends on a tugboat or, as you see in this crude animation, on wires anchored to the seabed for propulsion.